Welcome back to Settlement Survival. I am APH, and well, the game got an update over the weekend. It is now supporting mods, which is absolutely amazing that they put in mods to the game. And a comment was made in my Discord, which link is down in the description if you guys want to join and be part of the conversation, that I should restart on a little bit harder difficulty. So let's stay with a large map. I like a big sprawling area, and we'll go up to extreme. We'll leave disasters on, and we'll leave specials on. I don't think we need to be in sandbox. And hey, it looks like we're kind of either up towards Washington or up towards Canada. Let's roll it one more time. It gets us a little bit closer to central of the USA. Oh, that gets us over in Siberia. Hey, that could actually be fun. Kind of right on the edge of probably Mongolia, Siberia up there. We'll go with that, you know? Hopefully we don't get a winter wonderland, but that's okay. Part of the update, at least for Halloween, I believe you start with pumpkins no matter what. Not that they're a good crop, but a crop indeed. And here's the thing. Wow, this is a nice area. It would have been really nice if there was something there to start with. There's some planting area there. There's some pasture area there. There's a seed there. I've got some tricks that I've learned kind of over the week for getting that. Let's see what animal this is. Those are goose. That gets me feathers. Not too impressive. What is this one? That one's turkeys. So there's nothing else really there other than the turkeys. Let's see about right here. That looks like turkeys as well. And we've got another area for planting. That looks like turkeys. Do we not have alpaca over here? We do. They are way over here. So there's a seed here and there's alpaca over here. I think we can work with this. We'll go... Want to be close enough to the river that we can get a sawmill. And close enough to those seeds that we can get the seeds. Yeah, let's start here. There's some pretty major differences between the easy and the extreme. The plus side is, like, unlike Kingdoms Reborn where food consumption is higher, I think food consumption is the same. But we start with one development point, and wow, do we ever have to make it a wise one? Because typically what I'd recommend starting with is the sawmill. And part of me says, instead of the sawmill, let's get tents. And then we'll try to get enough development points to get the sawmill, hopefully before winter. So it's going to be kind of a rush, and we need at least one home. Nice thing about this is you don't see the actual area of the market. We can actually turn the market off because we don't actually need it with tents. You can build them wherever. Let's build one just so that our people have somewhere to stay warm. Let's take a look and see what seed we started with. Lettuce and pumpkin, not amazing. All right, here's a tip and trick that I found out. If you tell your people to gather plants, they're going to come over here and they're going to gather that. And when they do, they're going to actually get whatever seed that is. So from here, we definitely need water very, very, very quickly. There's probably going to be some major cutting in this as we only start with 15 people, and it's going to be a rush and a struggle to kind of get things going forward. All right, a well. So let's place it kind of right there on the edge. Hopefully that's enough, and we should probably get some iron and some stone. Do something like that and like that. And then after we build house over here to this, we should build a hunter so we can get that alpaca. And we'll kind of try to rush getting our pasture up and going, as the alpaca will be, the fur will actually get us our starting clothes. That will be, unless we find flaxseed early, that's going to be the kind of go-to. So we'll plan this out right here. We could probably speed up time. And from there, we're going to need way more. Ooh, there we go. We got our seed. Speaking of that, we got our flaxseed. So there's two primary ways of making clothes early game. You can You can get something like leather or wool. So if you got buffaloes early, or I think it's buffaloes or alpaca early, you could get their wool or their leather. Or you can get flaxseed, and then with flaxseed, it is through processing. You can get weaving, which allows you to turn flax into linen. It doesn't actually describe it real well at the beginning, but that's kind of the route. There goes our water, and then we'll get our hunting cabin. We do need a little bit more food as we're kind of getting low, and for right now, we're just going to scavenge it. And I gotta say, that's pretty nice. It's a very nice touch to the game that you can gather plants. I think they're actually gathering reeds as well. Unless this is something other than reeds. Maybe that's rice? Maybe? Because I see rice is on the actual list over here. That or wheat. Alright, let's take a look at... I believe it would be under raw materials? Under textile? So we'll give that a second and see if reed shows up in here, because it is an option. And it doesn't look like it, but our food definitely went up. So maybe, oh, yep, their reeds just came. So sure enough, there is natural reeds on the bank that you can get without the need of an actual, the reed, without the reed field. Very much still getting used to the game. And by the way, this is probably going to be like a weekend game for me, where it's probably going to be something that I try to mass record on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, maybe Saturday, Sunday, and try to put it out, and then it will probably be a few days in between. So just kind of bear with me. I would like to be a full-time YouTuber at some point in time, but at the moment I very much work 40 plus hours a week. Let's get a little bit bigger storage. So I saw another YouTuber this week saying that there's some things are in kind of some weird spots, and I think it has a lot to do, there's our livestock, a lot to do with the fact that we're used to playing other game, but there are some tooltips up here that you can click on, like clicking on warehouse brings up whatever's just warehouse. Again, logistics or trade. So there is some tooltips to kind of make it a little easier. It's just still getting used to the fact that this is something completely different. Let's go 4x8 right there. I like building in an 8x8 kind of design, so that kind of, you know, brings it out. Not that the actual tent is a good one, but there goes our development point. With that, we can definitely get the sawmill, and that's going to go over here in the water. So there's two versions. There is the sawmill and then the water sawmill. And then it just has greater efficiency. Maybe I'll place it over here. Can I place it this way? Oh man, that is too far away. I could maybe place it up here. Man, all right. Yeah, we're going to have to go for that. We'll just have to build our houses that way. Maybe put a tent like right next door or something as a temporary. I get him so that he's like living right next to it. Let's build a road over there. That is a lot further than I thought we were going to have to build that. I was thinking we could go right there. If I knew that we were going to go that way, I would have kind of did it a little different. Let's get... so before we have a sick person, let's get our clinic down. Because it's only a matter of time before we're going to have somebody sick. And from here, we're going to need... As we're producing lumber from that, we're definitely going to need, or producing our fuel, we're definitely going to need a logging cabin. That's probably going to be the route that we take in this series. Is in mining, we're probably going to get sand, and then we're going to come up here for agricultural and go pretty much straight down this route to the forest farm, and then come across to the herbal knowledge, in hopes that we can produce better herbs, and the hope that we can use the actual forest farm to make our forest, because in the amount of trees that the forester makes in comparison to the logging camp is night and day. Night and day. Let's harvest up some of these trees, and then we'll come through. It looks like we've got a lot of a lot of actual veg in here. So we're keeping up with our food for the moment. And that's kind of where we're looking. I want an 8x8 for a pasture. We'll go right here. And we're going to go ahead and face it kind of that way. We'll do another 8x8 somewhere else once that gets fully operational. But we're just going to we're going to make our first one, let it get all the way full. Make our second one, divide it up. Let the second one get all the way full. And then probably the first one at that point in time will be nothing but maintaining. That will actually be the one that we start eating off of. And then we'll use that second one to feed more. I think in total we want, I don't know, over the next couple episodes, we probably want at least 4 alpaca farms so that we can get a good solid source of meat. Our stone and iron is low, and we're kind of coming up on our month 8, so we don't want to get too much further. Let's go ahead and get that to be domestic fuel. The nice thing about this is, not that it's very efficient, but we can actually turn dried animal dung into domestic fuel as we kind of expand these out. And we got another development point. We already talked about the fact that we need the actual clay. I know it says it's a sand mine, but it does both. So let's activate that. And we won't place it until later. Oh, we finally got our notification of our livestock there, which is good. And we should be accumulating some some alpaca fur and some leather. So the hope is that we get far enough that we can start building. We get far enough that we can get our actual tailor before our clothes are out. Now, the reason that I'm going with tents and not houses is they have a smaller inventory. They only house 3 people. They're cheaper. So it's going to kind of keep our population down, as I believe on this difficulty, expanding is going to be the big issue. As if we expand too quick, I think we're going to not have enough food. So let's plan those out now that we kind of got some other things. We got our clinic, which is good. Once we finish the logging camp and the actual pasture, we'll probably work on getting a chapel so we can get some health up. Once we get our second pasture, and this one's starting to make actual meat, alpaca meat, what we'll do is we'll get a butcher so that we can get the soap going, because soap gives a lot for the actual health, and our health is really low right now. Probably because everybody's walking around out in the snow. Let's harvest some more trees with our unemployed people. And let's pause the water well. Hopefully just long enough that we can use those people to kind of make that progression. The logging camp is done, which is amazing. And we've got enough food to last through the winter is what I'm hoping. But what I find is the actual logging camp, it goes through an astronomical ton of wood. We got some cold people, but we don't yet have... Oh, we have somebody that has an injury. What did you do? Freezing, need of heat, and it doesn't actually tell me what's wrong with them. Please don't freeze on your way there. Ankle sprained. Wah, wah, wah. That is sad. Yeah, we got to get some houses going. We've got to get enough wood to get these. We'll pause a few of these houses so that we can get enough wood to re-get fuel. Because we're not out yet, but we don't want to run out. It's going to be a little tricky. Good. Darwin, you will take care of my alpaca, which apparently we can only get up to 6, which is not amazing. That actually is really not amazing, but at least it's something. Our next 2 houses are done. We're starting to... Oh, we got a tent over here as well. So we only have 3 homeless. Yeah, let's get this one going. We'll have our last one, because we have enough actual wood to make it. And we've got 3 unemployed people. We're doing okay. Not amazing, but we're doing okay. I gotta say, the extreme difficulty is definitely a lot more challenging than I thought it was going to be. We should go with a church next. We'll go with a church. No, not right there. We're going to place our next field there. That was almost bad. How much wood do we have? We've got 11 wood. And we're going to... Everybody's homed at the moment, so we're okay with that. Yeah, let's wait until we get a little bit more wood in. Probably in the spring. Because we're month 1 right now of year 2. I do kind of wish 10 times is the fastest you can go. I kind of wish that you could go a little bit faster. And I don't want anybody to freeze, so I'm just going to let this go. New development. And so let's get the apothecary. We could... that does allow for beeswax. I don't know if you can make soap out of beeswax. Okay, so we could make soap out of beeswax. And soap would go a long way. So, let's unlock the apothecary. We'll get one built, and the next point after that, we'll go into soap. That way we kind of double up on things. Let's gather all the fruit we can and all the veg we can, and we'll keep kind of that hunter going. We should... Our water's okay, so as long as our water's okay, we're gonna hold out. Let's pause the sawmill since we're out of wood. We'll get some food gathered, then we'll go back to getting our trees because we want to get our next house so that we can hopefully, you know, advance this a little bit, maybe get a couple more kids, as each one of these houses is full at the moment. Yeah, we've already got citizens that want houses. Probably, my guess is somewhere around 30 people. We're going to reopen the market, and we're going to transition back to houses at that point in time. But before that, it's going to be a little bit rocky because we're going to have to utilize everybody under the sun for pretty much anything we can. All right, the hunter. Man, you found a buffalo and you brought me some leather. Why didn't you bring me a baby buffalo? I would have been really happy with that. And they're not getting, well, they are now getting an alpaca, which is fine. I was hoping they would get me a second alpaca, but we'll kind of work with that. Our next tent is up and going, and hey, we've got our next family in there. So we can potentially kind of taking a quick look. It looks like they can have another child and they can have another child. So potentially we could get 2 more kids this year. Maybe we'll go 1 more in the short future here. And we'll definitely go with, now that we're starting to accumulate wood again, we'll definitely go with an actual church. So we can kind of get that planned out. We've got a good amount of food, and from here, let's harvest up these trees over here before we get a little bit more food. Probably very shortly here, we're probably going to have to make some plans for more sustainable food than just sending our people out to gather herbs and berries, as I don't think that's a good plan, but I don't see any fish nearby, and a bridge. Sometimes if you start it there, it will actually allow it to be built. So we'll get that built to see if we can try to go get those turkeys. That would be, from my findings, they don't give feathers, but they give meat and dung, and they actually reproduce really quick. So I mean, this alpaca might be 3-4 years before it's starting to actually have more, because the hunter's got to get one. It's got to bring it over. It's a big long thing. All right, water is dropping a little bit. Now we should be good for a while. Let's activate this tent. Get that going, because we got our church, and hopefully that brings our happiness up, because our stress is really high. And it's pretty much all to do with happiness and health. Oh, that is scary. Let's get this little bit of iron just to kind of maintain, and then we'll come back and gather some of this food. We'll just kind of try to keep getting food and trying to maintain that way. Yeah, somebody else wants a house, which is okay. So we immediately had another family move in. So it's kind of that waiting game where we've got one citizen that wants a new house already. Need kids before I need more people having houses. We probably should gather this little bit of rock since we don't have any in the actual vault there. And we're about to get our next construction point. But we don't have, I was going to say we need to unlock the sawmill, but we don't have any wood at the moment. Everything is going to building the bridge. Oh, that's where our stone is going. I didn't actually notice that that was using that. And what we can probably do... Oh, this is going to be a hard decision. So if we get recycling, we get 100% of everything back. We could probably tear down our hunting cabin, put our hunting cabin over here in the future, and kind of use it to get the turkeys over here and the beefalo. Yeah, there's turkeys here, and turkeys here. So the hope would be if they've kind of emptied this zone over here of all of whatever is over here living, which is the hope, is that we can move it and they'll get some other stuff over here. Yeah, let's do that. Let's get the recycling. Really wanted to get the soap, but the soap I think can wait because we still only have 15 adults and we don't yet have any kids. It is producing a good chunk of our food, and this makes me a little bit leery, but let's demo that. Let's rebuild it over here. Yeah, I really think that this is the way to go. And we do have the apothecary. We might build that just because it produces good stuff. And let's do the hunting cabin over there. We could get a gatherer's hut over here because we've got a lot of berries. And I guess what we could do is, what are we? We're month 9. I don't want to gather too much more food going into the winter. And we've got a little bit of firewood and a little bit of actual wood. We want to wait a little bit longer on that. Man, our people are not happy. I think that it's they don't get a buff to happiness from the tent, where with the actual house, I think they get a little bit of an actual buff. Oh, hey, it says that you can press F to change the actual layout. That's pretty cool. It looks like you don't get one for that, and the tent definitely doesn't get one. Learned something new today. That's actually kind of cool. I really enjoy that. There's a few functions of the game that I kind of would like to see, of which the game you can spin in, but you can't tilt it. And typically, your center mouse button would be a turn, and your right mouse button you'd be able to tilt. I'd really like to see that function added in the game. I just want to be perfectly clear, though. I really like the game, so don't get me wrong there. Let's go ahead and bring in the sawmill so that we get a little bit of fuel in the winter here, since we've got a little bit of wood going. And these guys are about to finish, so we should be close to going there. And as I said, I'd like to get that turkey. Let's grab a little bit more wood, and hopefully with 900 food, we have enough food to make it through the winter. I don't really think that we want to do any planting yet. I don't know that we have a crop that we really want. Well, we could do flax for the future, but I don't really think that lettuce or pumpkins. Yeah, let's go for pumpkins. We'll get a little bit of stable food. I don't want lettuce. That's the thing. We'll go right here. Yeah, we'll leave a space and we'll go right there. Probably, yeah, we'll go with 2 people. So, both are low yield, increased production by 50%. I believe that this is to do with the fact, yeah, during Halloween, Oh, we need a repairman hut. Oh, no. I completely forgot about that. All right, let's get the hut here. And we definitely are going to have to prioritize that up. We're out of wood because we're making fuel. Let's pause the actual fuel production. And where can we go to get some wood? Let's get this a little bit here since it looks like it's out of the range of the forester there. Oh, mistakes might have been made. Because if they degrade too far, they will actually be destroyed. And I believe everything's lost in there. And hey, we have got 4 kids. So I think we're okay here. So I think this is a good spot to end this first episode. And as I said, I'm going to try to power through them kind of as we go throughout the weekend. So I'm going to try to make a few episodes to make it through part or all of the week. So I'd like to thank you guys for joining, and we'll see you in the next episode.